We're going to go ahead and move on to our next development project, which is, I'm sure many people are tuning in for this one, is the Four Seasons Ski Resort. So whomever is going to present on the Four Seasons RV Resort, I'm going to go ahead and again turn over the virtual floor to that person and listen with rapt attention.
Hi, good afternoon. This is Kathleen Walsh with Advanced Outdoor Solutions, and I will be talking a little bit about our partnership with the Four Seasons Resort on Lake Anna. So nice to be joining you all this afternoon. I'm going to share my screen if possible. There I am. And I'd like to tell you a little bit about Advanced Outdoor. And we are a management company that manages RV parks and campgrounds all over the US. And I am myself a Delmarva resident. And so I hail from the Delaware, Maryland, Virginia Peninsula. And we've done some very high-end resorts in Maryland, Delaware, and also the Eastern Shore of Virginia. So right in your neck of the woods. So to tell you a little bit about Advanced Outdoor and our philosophy, we know that the environment and the outdoor setting that we develop our parks in is our golden goose. So people are coming to your area, and I was quite interested in listening to your tourism director. People love the outdoor hospitality lifestyle because of what your tourism director said earlier. You have amazing attractions, you have outdoor recreation, and you desire to attract families. And if you know anything about what we refer to as outdoor hospitality or RV parks and campgrounds, that's really the niche that these RV parks and campgrounds fill. They are usually middle class to upper class. They purchase these units that range anywhere from $50,000 all the way up to $1.5 million. And when they come to your communities, they're wanting to enjoy your outdoor recreation opportunities that you have. We are a firm believer in developing responsibly and in an environmentally sensitive way. So if you look at some of the projects we've done, even in your surrounding area, we always implement practices such as native plants, making sure we're protecting our waterways. At times we've used pervious paving as an opportunity to prevent stormwater runoff. So we are very attuned to keeping the environment safe and vibrant so that our outdoor guests are having the experience that they want to have when they come to your area. The other thing about our RV parks and campgrounds throughout the United States, and we're probably in about 30 of the 50 states, is we do things in a very community-centric way. So we partner with local vendors, whether it be fishing guides or bait and tackle shops or boat rentals. And we make sure that we create those partnerships with your local community vendors so that that rising tide lifts all ships, basically. We very much also work with local charities. If you look at some of our parks in the US, we do things like have adoption days with the local shelters. We may, for Halloween, if you want to go through our haunted house or our haunted trail, you have to bring canned goods for the local community. So we're very community minded in the way that we approach our parks. And I guess the last thing I would say is we build luxury brands. Every community is concerned, and rightfully so, that an RV park is going to turn into a low-income mobile home park. And you're right to have those concerns because so often that's what's happened. That's not the kind of park we run. I encourage all of you to take a look at some of our brands not far from you. Sunset Beach Resort in Cape Charles, Virginia. That is one of the properties we developed. Castaways RV Resort and Campground in Ocean City, Maryland. Chesapeake KOA in Chincoteague, Virginia. I really encourage you to look on those websites and take a look at the kind of properties that we partner with. And the Four Seasons at Lake Anna will be that kind of property because we don't partner with people who don't produce those kind of properties. Families is something that I've heard over and over again in the previous speaker's presentation, both your tourism director and the gentleman that was talking about building a housing community. Family is what outdoor hospitality and RV parks and campgrounds is about. It's one of the reasons I fell in love with the industry 20 years ago, because I would drive through my parks and see kids fishing, or kids playing bingo with their parents, or making s'mores around a fire. It's complete family togetherness in a way that very few activities provide anymore. They get unplugged and they get into your community enjoying the outdoors. So just to reiterate and recap, Four Seasons plans to be an upscale resort, not a trailer park. RV park or RV owners and those who participate in outdoor hospitality bring true disposable dollars into your community. So they're going to be buying gas. They're going to be shopping at your grocery stores. They're going to be getting ice cream. They're going to be doing all of those things that will provide the dollars that your community needs to survive. And when you want to attract outdoor recreation and you want to build your tourism department or tourism dollars, you have to give them a place to stay. It just goes hand in hand. You can't ask them to come and participate in the things you have without giving them an opportunity to stay. And if your community really wants to crack down on short-term rentals, this is the ideal way of doing it, because you're having these short-term guests come into your RV park and campground. They're vetted through us. We speak to them. We see them at the front desk. We get driver's licenses when they check in. And there's short-term housing without having to open up your homes to short-term housing. So that's really what the outdoor experience is about. That's really what Advanced Outdoor is about. And we've been impressed with the developer of this park and the vision that they have for this particular project. So with that, I'm happy to take any questions or listen to any comments that any of you might have about the project.
Well, believe it or not, there's a couple of questions for you, and I'm going to go ahead and start, and we'll get to as many of them as we possibly can.
Sure.
Number one from Phil, what is the name of the management company?
Hi, thank you for asking. Advanced Outdoor Solutions, ADVANCED, Outdoor Solutions. We have offices in Washington, D.C., Bethany Beach, Delaware, and our main office is in Fort Myers, Florida. And again, we've developed probably 15 parks in and around your area, all very high end, all very environmentally sensitive.
Okay, the follow-up question on that is, what are the names of other parks that this particular person wants to review? Maybe
Sure.
Just give a couple.
Yeah, happy to do it. Sunset Beach in Cape Charles, Virginia is one of the ones that you should take a look at. Again, very environmentally sensitive. We use a high-end, actually new product to prevent having to put concrete or gravel on our sites. It's a product that doesn't cause stormwater runoff. So check out Sunset Beach in Cape Charles. Look at Chincoteague, KOA in Chincoteague, Virginia. Castaways RV Resort in Ocean City, Maryland. Castaways is right on the bay, the inland bays, and we were incredibly sensitive to the environment using porous paving, native plants, high-end wastewater treatment facilities, and then Massey's Landing in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. So I would take a look at those, and the websites will give you a lot of information about the kind of parks that we operate.
All right. We have Jack. He asked if there are any websites, or do they just need to Google
All of them
different.
have websites. So if they Google the names of those parks, they will come upon their websites, and they will have photos and information, and they'll be able to learn a wealth of information about those parks. And what I would like to say before I take more questions is I really want the participants to understand that our goals are your goals. If you're concerned about long lines of traffic, guess what we don't want? We don't want the guy at the front desk just having to sit in traffic for half an hour to get into our resort, because he's going to be a pretty unhappy camper before he gets there. So we implement technology for remote check-in where they don't have to park or don't have to wait in a line, but they go right to their site. Light pollution. Campers hate light. Dark skies are one of the things that we get certified as often as we can. The water, if we lose water quality, our guests don't come. Our attorney in-house, who actually happens to be my husband as well, he is probably given close to $1 million in pro bono attorney work this year in clean water efforts preventing red tide. So we're really on board with what your concerns are.
There's a question from Linda, which I'm going to help you out with. It says, where will this RV park be located?
I believe, yeah.
I'll take that one.
Yeah.
So if you're leaving the lake on Route 522 heading north, goodness help you if you have to leave the lake at any time in your life. But if you just happen to be on that road, you cross the bridge and you look over to the right on the far shore, there's some farm and some forest land over there, not right next to the bridge, but a little bit away from it. That's the general location where the proposed Four Seasons RV resort would be located. So I hope that answers your question there.
And I think when you're on the lake, it's going to be just around the corner from where Tim's is. You wouldn't be able to see it from Tim's, but it's around the corner from that.
I'm going to help you out here just briefly because it is on the Pamunkey side. So it's on the opposite side of, that's not in the North Anna, it's on the opposite side. So it's just around the corner in this case. Well, not necessarily around the corner, but you would pass the cove and you would keep on going. This is in a fairly remote upper section of the Pamunkey branch of the lake. So we do have a couple more questions. I imagine Lindsay can get to a couple of those too.
So we have a question from Terry. Do your existing parks limit the amount of consecutive time a user can stay?
That's a great question. And the answer is most often yes. I do have parks in some areas where, let's take Texas, for example, where maybe they're offshore drilling and some drillers will stay with us for maybe 60 days. But for a park like this, your average length of stay is going to be about 4.3 to 5.5 days. This is a vacation area. This is not a mobile home park. It's not an affordable housing location. This is a transient RV park and campground, and it is not intended in any way, shape, or form to be long-term housing. And additionally, from our standpoint, we don't really like long-term stays because the average daily rate is so suppressed. And so we really prefer those daily campers. Maybe they stay a week at most, but we prefer that more transient guest because we get a higher average daily rate, and they also spend their money in your community and at our camp store or any venue we have on site.
Okay, thank you for that. Let's see. Did we do will the lots be sold or rented yet?
No.
Okay, that's going to be the last question on this topic. There's some comments and things that are kind of like questions, but we've got to keep moving. We've got 2 more segments. We're doing incredible with keeping to people's schedules and respecting their time. And I'm sure as happy hour approaches, you want to enjoy that part of the lake and the lifestyle. So the last question on this topic, will the lots be sold or rented?
Yeah, it's a straight rental campground. It's, you come in, you pay for 2 nights and then you go. It's not designed to be any sort of condo or home sales or lot sales or anything like that. Actually, as an industry, they're getting away from that model just because rental RV parks and campgrounds are so popular now.
Okay, well, again, in light of the time constraints that we have, what I'm going to ask you to do, and this is going to be a brave thing for you to do. And if you want to do it, if you don't, you can obviously say, well, let me think about it. But if you want to give us your contact information, maybe an email, I think that might instill a lot of confidence in a lot of the people in the community that have questions. And we did not get to all the questions and comments. What do you think about that?
Absolutely. I'll be happy to. Let me give you my website first, because I will post my PowerPoint on there so that you can look through some of the data. So my website is advanced, ADVANCED outdoor, OUTDOOR.biz, boy, ice, zebra. If you get on my website, you can see some information about this project, and you can also see my email address, and you can absolutely contact me, and happy to answer any questions. I've been doing this a long time, and I want people to feel comfortable with the project.
Okay, well, thank you very much for sharing the project with us and being a part of the Lake Unit Virtual Summit. Generous of your time.
Thank you very much.